Hello friends, you are watching my YouTube channel, The Hood Guy, and I am Harmeet Singh, and I am here to discuss a very good topic, that is capitalizing on technology for farmers' welfare. So I must be discuss. I give a brief introduction how the topics will go through like that. First, I will be discussing about the farmers and their part in the GDP. Then I will come directly on the NCF report, National Commission for Farmers. Then after that, I will come on the social security schemes or the soil health card, that kind of schemes that are implemented by the government. Then I will directly come on to the MSSRF. So guys, let's start this video. So this article in Yojana is being written by a very eminent professor that has been described as a father of economic ecology in India, which has done a very good part in improving the quality and breed of plants in India. So he is a very keen scientist and is a keen scientist and is a visiting professor, to Indian universities. So he hold a very good knowledge about that kind of things. So I will be discussing about the NCF report. So National Commission of Farmers has recommended 5 goals or facts that will help to improve the condition of the farmers. So I will be discussing the whole points one by one. So first of all, first of all, there is a imminent need to attract the youth to farming, because we we are considering about the national security of food, because we are in a state that we are producing the excess amount of food in the in if we consider the back era moving if we consider back era, if we are in 2019 and we consider a situation far back more than 50 years or 60 years. In that period of time, we were not able to produce enough food that will sustain our population. So after that, we know that green revolution, green reform come and green reform come, and we were able to produce that ample amount of food grains for our population. So if we consider the situation that after 40 years our youth will be dialected or diverted from the agriculture field, because we are not giving enough resources, we are not giving enough popularity to the agriculture field. I believe that after if we continue this process, if we continue this trend for few years, we will not be able to hold the youth into this profession, because every day we hear the news that the farmers are committing suicide, they are not getting enough ample amount of money to sustain themselves, and we are seeing the hardcore news that they are throwing their agriculture produce, because they are not getting that amount of money that they are investing into their fields. So we have to intellectually impart our youth to such a knowledge, to such a motivation, that they should join the agriculture field. And if they are joining the agriculture field, they are getting the enough rewards for that. Maybe this reward may be for agriculture, for economic reward, or that kind of thing. So so we also have to develop a communication grid. So what we are trying to say, that if the China is able to hold the global market, it is not happening overnight, guys. It takes so much of time. So with the help of technology, we can improve our farmers welfare and their livelihood status, because they are also the people. And if we are living in this country, we are solely depending on them, because they constitute a very good part of our GDP. So so we have to introduce a technology in that way, that that it is encouraging the youth to get into encouraging the youth to get into this agriculture market. Second, the reforms should be such that their production levels should be increased. Third, while we are not importing this Swaminathan committee has recommended that with the advent of the biotechnology, with the breeding experiments that have been done since the Mendelian, and this is the age of biotechnology where we can introduce a variety of crops that have a greater productivity strength. If we are able to hold a revolution in this biotechnology field, we can help the farmers to introduce have their hand to have their hand on a bigger market. And if the farmers are able to produce ample amount of food grains, ample amount of agriculture produce which are they sown. So we have to to develop such a communication grid so that they can so they so that they can export their produce to other countries. So the second point that the Swaminathan committee has restructured or given implications that we are speaking about the cyber security and that kind of things, but we do not speak about the biosecurity. Biosecurity is also the essential, I repeat, the essential part of our economy, because if we do not consider this biosecurity as an important trend in our economic reforms, that will be a huge disaster for our country. So we have to implement such a policies that will help to protect the bio resources like trees, fish, and crops, because they are the key I repeat, they are the key things that are helping to improve the national security of food. So the last NCF report was given in 2006, and after that era there has been many developments in the field of agriculture. Some of them I am here to discuss about. Them is First of them is the previously the agriculture ministry was designated as simply an agriculture ministry, but after a certain period or a reform has been in this reform has been done to change the agriculture ministry to the name of Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. So to designate, to give the sign that we are to give the sign that we to give the sign that we are so first of the thing that was done by the end was done through all the through years after 2006 was that the agriculture ministry the agriculture ministry, which was first which holds the name of agriculture designated, and Ministry of Agriculture was renamed and was named after Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, to give a serious implication to give a serious implication that this is a ministry not considering not regarded for the farmers. This is considered to help the farmers to increase their livelihood. The second is a issue of health card, soil health card. So what is the soil health card? You have heard about this soil health card, so I will be brief describing about this soil health card. So it is the same way that we are like when we are going to the doctor and he is giving a prescription. So these are the things that you have to add on to go to have this disease gone. So when we when we take that medicines from the prescription, it helps to give us the progress. If or when we are or so when we are taking the scorecard if we are if we are taking the scorecard of the university or exams, we know we get to know about our scorecard, through our scorecard, that how much we are improving in a particular field and where we are lagging. So same is this soil card. By the help of soil card, will be getting the we will be getting the thing that which element is missing in our soil and what we have to add on to increase the productivity by decreasing the disease, by decreasing the disease factor which can indirectly affect our crop. So the third thing which I am considering here is to agriculture. Agriculture solely depends on water for for water, because in India the farmers are very much dependent on seasonal rain. Because of that, many of the farmers where in certain parts of India where the drought conditions are prevailing, and they are very much dependent on the rain, they their harvest fails, and their livelihood is destroyed. So to remove this problem of dependence of farmers on this very much this very much rain fed system, get we have to get we have to get through this in a very quick span of time. So, friends, we will recap all the things that we have learned from the recommendation of NCF. And starting from the first, that is designating or changing the name of the agriculture ministry to agriculture ministry for farmers welfare. So by implementing this name, that will give a impression that the government is government is willing to take such measures that will help the farmers welfare, so that they can live their life up full, and their families will also be provided financial help if needed. Second, if implementing the national soil card, this is a very great step by the government, especially by Narendra Modi, who is very keenly implementing this and promoting by the all source of media that the soil, which is a key ingredient, like if we want to bake a cake, we have to have a good micro oven. In the same condition, if we have to have good harvest, we should have a very good soil. The soil should be rich in the nutrients is that are required by the plant for a proper growth, and these nutrients are have to be a very present in adequate numbers, so that there could be no disease amounting to increase or decrease of that nutrient. This is a very first benefit of the national soil health card. Third is the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Vikas Yojana, that is said to have revolutionized the irrigation schemes that we are seeing in India. As in India, the whole agriculture scheme is monsoon driven. When the monsoon are over, the drought hit the country, and when the hot drought hit the country, the farmers are in a situation in a total chaos. What to do when they are not getting the adequate amount of rain for their harvest, and they are in total ruins. So in order to help those farmers, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has implemented a Pradhan Mantri Krishi Vikas Yojana to help the farmers, so that they can harvest their crop in great amount by by irrigating their land with water. Fourth, we have to give a great credit. We have to conserve the cattle field, the indigenous cattle field in India, and for this, the Pradhan Rashtriya Gokul mission, which is being driven by which is driven under the flagship of Narendra Modi, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also inaugurated the first international congress on agriculture. If we see the trend in other countries, like the Western countries that are developed countries, what they are doing, there are no a third buyer. There are no third buyer in those countries. The produce that has been that is driven by the farmer, the produce that has been driven by the farmer directly from the farmer is going to the customer directly. So the same thing we have also have to implement into our, the same thing we also have to implement into our country to reduce the third party effect, which comes to play very key, which plunges the farmers amount share, because these are the people which grabs the whole amount of money, so if we consider the fact that the so I have seen this fact very closely and observed keenly when I went to an agriculture mandi. If anyone of you have the time, you must go and see what are the conditions there. So if in the bulk amount you are you are purchasing the vegetables and fruits, if I consider the fact that in normal markets, away from the mandis or close to your homes, the grocery shops that are giving the grocery shops that are giving the fruits or vegetable or orange at the cost of 40 per dozen. At the same time you will get 30 rupees the dozen from the from 30 rupees or 20 rupees dozen at the mandis. So you must be thinking that when in so for example, I am in Punjab and I am purchasing oranges that in mandi from 20 rupees per dozen. So it is a logic that it is, if it is they are selling 20 rupees per dozen, they have purchased that orange from farmer at a minimum cost of 7 to 8 rupees per dozen. So that amount of money, 17 to 20 or 30 rupees, is directly going into the pocket of the seller that is present between them. So the Pradhan so the ENAM ENAM agriculture electronic national agriculture mandis, the the idea that has been brought by the government to ensure that the farmers are having their a better price share, and they are not their late of their profits. So other step that has been given by the Swaminathan committee or NCF is that farmer should be given minimum sport price, so that the amount of money that they are investing into the agriculture, which amounts to ranging from the production, the buying of seeds or irrigating their land, the amount of money that they are giving to their laborers, including their amount of share that they are investing into, their amount of time that they are investing into the agriculture work, they have to be given 1.5% of that. If I am investing 1 rupee, I should get, according to the Swaminathan or the that the government minimum sport price scheme, the I should get 2.5 rupees out of that. So and the next step is irrigation of protein rich pulses. uh, Protein rich pulses, the farmers should be handed over the fact that they are the main producers they are the main persons that are behind the agriculture security of the nation and the nutrient security of the nation. Why am I describing the nutrient security of the nation? Because in India, there is micro malnutrition in India, and due to the fact that many of the population, especially the children, are left out of it. So the farmer should be encouraged, in my point of view, the farmer should be encouraged to grow more protein rich fruits or diets, so that will have a great effect on the health of our children.